Imagine sitting in a radar room late at night in November 1953. The room is quiet except for the low hum of equipment. On the screen in front of you are two glowing points of light. One of them is a US Air Force interceptor jet. The other shouldn't be there. Controllers watch as the interceptor moves towards the unknown contact over the dark waters of Lake Superior. 5 miles apart. 3 miles. 2. And something happens on the radar screen that no one in that room expected. The two signals become one. For a moment, a single signal hangs there on the scope. Then it disappears, and the interceptor never comes home. The aircraft launched that night from Kinross Air Force Base in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. It was a Northrop F-89C Scorpion, one of the Air Force's primary interceptor jets during the early Cold War. At the control sat First Lieutenant Felix Moncla Jr. He was 27 years old, a trained jet pilot with hundreds of hours in the air. At home, he had a wife and 2 young children. Behind him in the aircraft sat Second Lieutenant Robert L. Wilson, the radar operator responsible for helping track and intercept unknown targets. 2 men assigned to a mission flown many times before. Find the aircraft, identify it, return to base. Earlier that evening, radar stations had detected an unidentified aircraft moving over Lake Superior near the Sioux Locks, one of the most strategically important waterways in North America. During the Cold War, unidentified aircraft near sensitive locations were taken seriously, so Moncla's interceptor was launched. Guided by ground radar, the jet accelerated across the lake at nearly 500 miles per hour. Inside the radar room, operators watched the scope as the distance between the two signals slowly closed. At first, the interceptor and the unknown aircraft appeared as separate returns, 2 dots on the radar, moving steadily toward each other. Controllers directed Moncla closer. The distance continued to shrink until the moment the 2 signals touched. The radar returns merged into a single blip, roughly 70 miles off Key 1R point. Normally, when an interceptor reaches its target, the signals separate again as the aircraft pass one another, but this time they didn't. The single radar return lingered briefly, then it vanished. Radio calls were sent to the aircraft. No answer, no distress signal, no final message, just silence. Search aircraft were launched almost immediately. Both American and Canadian crews combed the region. But Lake Superior is enormous, more like an inland sea than a lake. Deep, cold, capable of hiding wreckage for decades. Nothing was found, no debris field, no confirmed wreckage, no sign of the aircraft or its crew. The first Air Force report given to the press stated that radar had followed the interceptor until it merged with an unidentified object over the lake. Newspapers reported it exactly that way, but not long afterward, the explanation changed. Officials suggested the radar contact may actually have been a Royal Canadian Air Force C-47 transport aircraft that had drifted off course. In this version of events, Moncla identified the aircraft and later crashed into the lake while returning to base. But Canadian authorities later indicated they had no record of a flight in that area that night. And because the interceptor was never found, the crash itself could never be confirmed. What remains is the memory of what the radar operators saw. 2 signals moving toward each other across the darkness above Lake Superior, closing steadily until they became one, then none. Lake Superior has a reputation among sailors and pilots alike. It is vast, unforgiving, and capable of holding on to secrets for a very long time. On the night of November 23rd, 1953, 2 Air Force officers launched into that darkness to intercept something that appeared on a radar screen. Pilot Felix Moncla, radar operator Robert Wilson. Their aircraft was tracked until the moment it met something over the lake. After that, there was only empty sky and a mystery that is never fully separated again.